In this occasion, we're going to work in the formulary that we were getting the data. Now we're going to just go directly to the database, and we're going to try to make on the database exactly what is supposed to be. I mean, we're going to try to create a database to receive the information that we were getting in the formula. Being honest, I'm gonna save time and I'm gonna just go directly to the database and I'm gonna create what I think that is necessary and then I will just confirm it. So it is just as simple as going localhost and saying PHP my admin. And in here, I'm gonna go after it charges. Let's let's get here new and let's just create a new database that is going to be called, for example, Jonah Chronicles, just like that. And this is going to be general, say, just exactly the one that is here. Try to make sure that is this one because sometimes the other Unicode, which is this is like the way that the data will be codificated when it gets into the database. There are others that you can use that are very common, but this one, General CI, is one of the most common and also the most recommended. Remember what I told you before. When something is very, very generalized, it also has the capability that by default is easier, that is also more secure. But when something is just new, what usually is also weaker. So let's go. You see this name of the table? Let's put here that I would like to have 5 columns, and the name of the table is going to be questions, just like that. You remember that that was the formulary, right? I'm gonna put questions in here, and I'm gonna place in here ID, and I'm going to say auto incremental, and I'm gonna say that question title is going to be a varchar, and this is going to be 11, this is going to be 23, and this is going to be, oops, sorry, and this is going to be question verse, and let's place here the verse as well, and the verse is going to be, let's say that we want to have more than one verse, so it is good to have this like 90 or something like that. And the question paragraph, just as simple as that. And we put here a text. And what else is missing? I think that that's everything. Now, for us to confirm, let's go to git bash. Yes, as how can I say, as smooth as it is until the moment, it is exactly the coding process. Um, Now let's go to Jonah Chronicles. We go code, and in here it is going to open the last file that I got open. If you remember well, I even copied the data that I was about to send. So in the code, I have the camps or the fields that are supposed to be in the database. That's why this video is going to be one of the most direct and also one of the most simple to understand. As you can see here, for example, this is the title, this is the verse, and this is the paragraph. Just exactly what I have here, the title, the verse, and the paragraph. And that's it. I mean, that's everything. But there is something else that is missing, and you know what it is? The ID of the user, ID of user, and that is going to be an integer of 11, and that is going to be also an index. Okay, why an index? Because that is something that we're gonna um, Actually, it should not be exactly an index, but let's leave it like that, okay? The thing is that we are going to connect this with this can be index unique and also spatial, okay? But let's leave it just an index. This is just like to say, hey, I would like this ID of user to be able to be copied. Do you know what is copied? Yes, copied or used every time that this user inserts a new question. And also we can create another field, by the way, that is going to be the ID of the user that answered. So let's create it. Let's create a new column, just hitting here. Let's show you. You see here, I hit on here. And now I will say ID user with that answered it. And as simple as that. That is going to be 11, and that is going to be also an index. Let's go here and we will say index. As I said before, the first one could be unique because usually the user that inserts the question is unique. There is not another user that will insert the same question, same verse, same title, and same everything because it's not even needed. It should even throw like an alert saying, hey, that question is already in the database, for example. That's why this could be unique, but by the moment, let's just leave it index, okay? And I will be honest with you. I am not the only one that leaves this index. Actually, almost every developer leaves this just as an index. But I am telling you the truth that if you got the opportunity, make it unique, okay? Which is something that we can even do in the next video. We can try to make it unique and to see if we can insert more than one question, even though the user is unique. And it is, I mean, at a logical level, it has sense because it doesn't matter that the user is unique, the questions are different. And that is what we want. So, what is like the thing that we should have in consideration? Well, what we should have in consideration is that when we make the connection on the relationships of the tables, let's say the table of users and the table of questions, we have to make the relationship from the direction that it corresponds. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes we make it in the wrong direction. But I will tell you also something important. This is too much for you to bear. When I say too much for you to bear, it is something that Jesus used to say when he was saying too many things that were important, but he knew that our mind was not capable to understand everything that he could say. It's not the same with me because I'm not Jesus, but what I'm trying to say is that what I have just said is enough, okay? So let's just hit on save here with humbleness in our heart, and that's it. Our questions table is created, and everything has even the indexes that it correspond to it. And in a future, we're gonna make the ID user um, unique. Now let's put here next task to make the ID user camp unique in the database. And that's it. Um, Also, if you want to make sure that we don't get lost in this job as it happened before, we can export the database before we finish the video. We export it and we're gonna save it just in the folder that it corresponds to it. Okay? Let's go here and on the you see the models we can create a new folder that says, for example, setup, and we open that folder. Um, let's copy this direction and let's go to downloads. Let's copy this and let's put on here this other thing, which is the models setup, and I'm gonna paste here the database. Okay, sorry, I'm supposed to open it again. Let's go to here, downloads, and let's just take it and drop it over there, and that's it. I will tell you a truth. The drop technique on the computer is more practical than copy and pasting. That is like a secret that I will tell to you. Why is more practical? Well, because when you compare, let's say, um, grabbing something and put it into one place, it is more concrete than anything that is abstract. And copy and pasting in a computer is what? Abstract. So see you in the next video. Remember that Jesus Christ loved you much more than what I could ever say. By the way, Jesus Christ loved us so much that he sent his loved Son, that everyone that believes in him may not die, but shall inherit eternal life.